For fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor U4GM Coins. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys? Venom Fire here, back from the video, and today we're bringing you guys a pro style offense. Now this pro style offense is going to come to us out of the strong close formation. Strong close is really good this year just because you have the ability to run the ball and pass the ball out of the same formation, both very effectively. It's a really good run scheme. Then you got some great built-in plays like this PA deep, FL drive, you got wide trail, and you got the PA deep cross. So I'm going to be talking about 4 passing plays as well as 2 running plays in this video. There's obviously a couple of other good plays I won't touch up on. PA scissors, wide receiver out. There's a couple of other really good plays in the formation. Again, I'm not going to go over. One thing with the strong close is you're going to need 2 key abilities. The first one being tight end apprentice. So you see I'm using the 49ers. I got George Kittle. You want that tight end apprentice ability. It's really important in this scheme to be able to put your tight end on a post route, which is what we will do for the majority of the video. And then the other ability you want is going to be the backfield master or running back apprentice. So you want to be able to put the extra routes right here with your running back, and then you're just going to sub in a running back at fullback. So I just got Christian McCaffrey. I think he's the only one in regs that gets that ability. So we're going to be able to use that to the best of our ability. You want to be able to put him on flat routes, Texas routes, things like that. Your regular running back does not matter. You don't need any abilities right here, just right here at the fullback position. And for their wide receivers, you see I'm just using Debo and Ayuk. I don't need any special abilities on those boys right there. Starting out, I'm just going to go with our base run plays first, but this is what my audibles usually look like. They're going to be PA deep cross, dive, and then outside zone. Outside zone is also called off tackle in some playbooks. And we are also in the Raiders offense today. So Raiders playbook, again, this wasn't in my Raiders ebook, so it's going to be new for all of us. The other play that you usually want to come out in is going to be FL drive. But again, we're going to start out with the run plays, so we'll just call it the base dive. And let's just go against a regular dollar look. So halfback dive, the reason this halfback dive is really good is this fullback. He comes over and gets a really good lead block on him, and look at the receivers, they sort of go across. It's just an overall great formation to run the football on, especially with some of the gap shoot defenses this year. A lot of people like to try and shoot the gap through nickel normal or big nickel over G. This one really does counter those run defenses very well, just with the dive and the stretch. Again, more so the dive usually than that off tackle, but the off tackle can go for big plays if ran correctly. So again, you see just running the base dive, we're getting perfect blocks. And I know the 49ers are a pretty good running team, but you see just the ability to get outside when running halfback dive is really good out of this play. Again, we're able to get to the left very easily. Overall, just a great halfback dive. The motion that I like to do with dive is actually just to motion Ayuk over from right to left. You actually can't motion Debo over. Ayuk's the only receiver that you can really motion, but you see the motion. It really does just help us get even more blocking up front. In particular on that left side, there was really nobody to make the tackle. I'll show it one more time. We'll move on to the off tackle. And again, I'm going to try and go through these run plays as quickly as possible just because we got a lot of plays, a lot of setups to go through today. So again, that was the dive. Moving on, we got the outside zone, aka off tackle. You will hear me call it that pretty much the whole video because in like every other playbook, it's called the off tackle. But again, right there, just look at the ability to get over and cut it inside or outside depending on how the blocks develop. Really nice play. This formation is also in a handful of playbooks. It's in Denver, it's in West Coast, which is really nice. West Coast, very good passing playbook. But look at the off tackle. We saw the dive go for 6. Now it's the off tackle's turn. Both really good runs. And again, for something I actually like to pass the ball more than I run the ball to this formation. Early in games, I do like to establish the run just because look at this. You're going to make someone get out of their dollar or 3-3-5. Make them get into 3-3-5 wide or nickel normal or big nickel. And that just is going to make their job defending the pass a little bit more difficult. So that's the off tackle. Now, if they're running zone, you can actually sort of motion Ayuk over and quick snap him right there. But in the sense that we're running man, you can also just run this little bluff. When you do motion Ayuk over from right to left, you kind of got to cut it inside because you saw I just got killed by Harrison Smith right there. But again, I could either cut it in or out and have very good success. So with that being said, we're going to move on to a pass play, and that pass play is going to be wide trail, so I'll see you then. All right, here I am in wide trail. Now you will see a lot of these plays are good against man coverage, but I'm not really going to be running man coverage on defense, and the reason for that is you see the computer, even if you call a cover one press, they never come out press, which is really annoying, but I'll just tell you guys what routes beat man coverage. Here we are on the wide trail play. With wide trail, what you want to do is motion that slant over from left to right, and then you're going to snap the ball. This route with Ayuk, it does really good against man coverage. You see the separation. Now again, pretend that there wasn't a safety there, and pretend that there was just a corner. So again, I'm going to motion him over, but take a look at Ayuk. He's going to get real good separation on this, and even with the motion, it sort of gets those little routes glitched. You see we got separation. Pretend that he's pressed though also, in the sense that he would be pressed and shaded over the top. Even if you have a little speed increase, that's going to be potentially a touchdown. Again, obviously they're not pressed, so it's not going to work. But again, you also got two other man-beating routes. You got this angle with Kittle that's really nice. And then you also have that backside slant with the flat, so in case they're running zone or whatever, that's a good route to mix in. I don't really call this play all that much, but it definitely is a solid play to mix in. The other setup would be just to put A on a little post with your tight end. Again, press that D-pad down using those extra 4 abilities we got. And you still want to motion Debo over. You just got the post to slant now. You got a couple of other routes. I'm going to slide to the right, low ball that slant, boom. So with that being said, we'll move on to our next play, which is going to be the PA deep. Alright guys, here we are out in the PA deep, and like I mentioned, I can't really run man coverage too effectively against the CPU, so I'm just going to run zone. I'll talk about a couple key routes that will beat man coverage, and if you guys play Madden, you know that certain routes will beat man coverage. If you could, an ability I would recommend is just getting route technician on some of these receivers, because like this crosser will be better if you have route technician. A couple of the motioned over post routes or things like that will be better, but again, not necessary. So PA deep, our first setup is going to be just putting A on a post. We're going to put RB on a flat, because you see he's on a little weird out route. We're just going to put him on a flat, which is going to be the D-pad to the left. And then what you're going to go ahead and do is just put Y on a wheel. Now, it's important that you are on the left side a little bit for this. If I was obviously on the right side, I would flip my play, but I want my wheel route to make sure that it's going opposite of the fullback usually. For most of these setups, there will be one little setup where you kind of want them to be on the same side per se, but or you want the tight end to be on the wide side, not the short side. You see tight ends on the short side of the field. There's one setup, again, I'll talk about that later, but we put A on a post, RB on a flat, Y on a wheel, and the last thing we're going to do is just put B on a slant. You see a lot of routes, a lot of crossing routes. What we're going to do, again, utilizing a lot of motion, we're going to utilize Samuel going across the formation on his little crossing route, and then we're going to just make our read. We got tons of routes, tons of great routes. If it is man coverage or zone coverage, the key routes that you're going to focus in on are probably this quick flat, because again, a lot of people running man coverage against under center sets sometimes gets confused. Sometimes these running backs get free off the bat, which is why I like to quick snap the wheels, swings, and flat routes. Obviously, we know the post will beat man. We know this slant will beat man, and this crosser can also beat man if you have route technician. Obviously, when you motion snap it, they can't press. So if they were to run a press style of defense, they obviously can't do that. So again, the setup was Y on a wheel, RB on a flat, A on a post, B on a slant. Then we're just going to motion Samuel over. A lot of these setups and a lot of these plays are going to be quick reads. So again, quick read. If you can obviously wait and maybe throw a post on the sideline or something. This is going to be putting a lot of stress on the inside of the field as well as the outside. You're forcing your opponent to maybe run a double flat style of defense, but also you have a slant and a post coming across the middle of the field, so he's going to have to choose one with his user. Really is a great style of offense, and I've definitely been running it a lot as of lately. So again, A on a post, RB on a flat, B on that slant, Y on a wheel. And again, if it's zone, you're gonna have these running back routes open all day unless they're playing double flats, which is definitely something nice to have. Now, if it is cover 2, sometimes you can have X open. Obviously, we're running cover 3 right now, so he's not really going to be that it's not going to be a throwable football right now. I'll show the setup one more time, then we will move on. Here's a look. Again, I could throw it to McCaffrey. I could do a lot of things. Here, I'll check down, do a little swerve upfield, and you see he's got that backfield master. He's not going to drop it. So With that being said, let's move on to our next setup. Again, I got another setup out of this PAD. I run these two main setups. The next one we're going to do is putting A on a corner. So we're going to put him on a corner, D-pad to the left side or whatever side he's facing, which is the left in this case. We're also going to smart out him because you notice it's a little bit shallow. We want him deeper just to pick up more yardage. So we're going to smart out A. The next thing we're going to do is put RB on a little Texas route, aka an angle route. Now he's on his angle. Sorry about my throat a little bit. Just when I talk a lot, it's going to get a little bit scratchy. It is what it is. So next thing you're going to do is block your running back. You're going to put B on a hitch, and then you're just going to motion Samuel over again. So you see we got a little corner. We got an angle route similar to the post play. Then we got this hitch. I love this little angle to hitch route concept. It really puts a lot of stress on the user, and especially if he's not running like something like man, then it's going to really just overpower it. Here you see McCaffrey, he's going to be wide open regardless. You also got the corner out. If you want, maybe you could throw Y on a wheel. This play in particular though, what I would probably recommend doing is just having my tight end on the wide side so I could go with the wheel to the left rather than the right. But again, I still could keep it to the right if I wanted to. Here's a look at the play art. Again, you could obviously block him if you want. You see Mostert getting in between the zones pretty well there. And again, against zone, your opponent's going to have to double flat. So show it one more time here. B on a hitch, RB on a Texas route, A on a corner, smart out A, block your running back. And then you can motion Debo over. Again, this is going to be a very motion-heavy offense, so just expect a lot of motion. You can throw your corner out late. You see him getting over top of the zone. He's going to be man as well. Those angle routes will be man in addition to the corner route. So with that being said, let's move on to our next play, PA deep cross. Probably my favorite play of the formation. It's just overall a great play stock. You got a deep post, you got a crosser, and then you can really just freestyle, use your hot routes to your advantage. So first setup, it's going to be similar to the our first setup with PA deep. You're going to put A on a post, RB on a flat. You're going to put Y on a wheel, and then you're just going to motion snap X. So it's again similar, but what you have is B on a crosser instead of a slant, and then you have X on this deep post instead of a crosser. So a little bit of difference. That X or that post motioned over is going to turn it into a corner route. So again, oh shoot, I just pressed the wrong button, but you saw B was open. That you got basically just creating high-low reads, and then you still have a couple of routes going across the middle of the field. So again, the setup was A on a post, RB on a flat, Y on a wheel, and you just motion X over. This one just has one less step than PA deep. Again here, I could throw that little post route all day. If I don't have that open, I can always wait. His user won't really be able to defend all of the routes on the right and the left. So what you're doing in this offense is using the right side of the field. Then you throw it on the left. He's using the left, throw it on the right. So again, what you will do one last time with this setup, A on a post, RB on a flat, Y on a wheel, and you're going to motion X over. Again, X is a better passive throw against cover 2. It also can beat man coverage if you have the route technician ability. So again, I do recommend getting that ability. It's only 1 AP on some receivers, so if you can get like a Reggie Wayne, I'm not sure which receivers have it or not. But with that being said, we'll move on to our next setup. This is again one that I don't run all that often, but A on a post, you're gonna put X on a flat, you're gonna put RB on a wheel. Oh shoot, I'm in the wrong play, but A on a post, X on a flat, RB on a wheel, and Y on this little swing route. So it's gonna look like this. You got a little crosser, and then you have this high-low read. Now, obviously with the crosser, your wheel route is gonna sort of run in the same area. So this is just sort of a route that you kind of want to throw in the middle of the field, but it still does get in between zones well. Right there, if he ran shallow, if he didn't bump into the linebacker, he would have been open early. You're forcing him to user and respect that route. Again, the setup is just A on a post, X on a flat, RB on a wheel. And then with Y, I could actually keep this play action if I wanted him to go in the flats. I like this little swing route because it can actually pick up a lot of yardage. You see McCaffrey, look at him getting in between the zones. I love that flat to wheel route concept. I'll show it one more time here. Here's a look at our setup. And again, this is all out of the PA deep crossplay, just using a lot of hot routes to my advantage. I could also block my running back if I wanted to. I could throw B on a backside slant instead of a crosser, but really you can just take a couple of these setups, edit, 1 or 2 moves, and then just do whatever you want with it or edit one route. From my setups, you can do a lot of customization with the offense as well. With that being said, we'll hop into our last PA deep cross setup. This one is going to be pretty similar with just, again, exception of a couple of routes. What we're going to do, A on a post. Once again, it's going to be the concept throughout the video. A on a post always. So A on a post. What we're going to do is put X on a little slant, and then we're going to just put both running backs on wheel routes. So it's going to be our B on a wheel and Y on a wheel. We got a crosser, post, then X is just a little bit of a clear out here. So again, I could wait, throw a B. Really, this concept is about hitting the flats when you put both running backs on wheel routes. So really, you're looking to the flats. You're not going to want to wait and throw the post or the crosser on the sideline. You want to throw them in the middle of the field like this. So again, that's something I do recommend doing, but really you're trying to throw the wheel routes on the outside, and you're trying to throw these crosser and post routes in the middle. You got X as a little streak route, because again, we haven't really had any streak routes, so that's just something you want your opponent to respect. Don't get him, maybe he's just leaving one side of the field alone. He's not even having a deep blue on that side. That's something you can take advantage of. But again, one last time, here is a look at the setup. A on a post, X on a streak, put both players on wheel routes. Again, this is still out of the play action deep cross play. Here, I can wait, throw that cross over the top. Geez, gotta love the pass rush in this game, how they buffed it. But again, obviously, you can block one of the running backs if you're getting pressured too much. A lot of people in this game are rushing 3, so if you block 6, you should have enough time to make some of these passes. So with that being said, we'll hop into the last play, FL Drive, and I'm actually going to flip this play, so I'll come out in it on a different side. Here we are in the FL Drive. Now, I did say flip the play, but I actually lied. You don't want to flip the play. I mean, you could, but for the first setup, you don't have to. The second setup, you kind of do, because you're going to have a wheel route again. You want them going to opposite sides. But just for the first setup, you could have the tight end on the wide side if you want. I'm just going to keep it at this so I don't have to audible and flip and do all that jazz. So again, the setup is going to be A on a post. In this case, we're going to throw X on a backside slant. Then we're going to put RB on a flat. Now you notice RB is kind of on a flat route. I like this flat route, the audible or the hot routed one, a little bit better. Again, it's just personal preference. That's the first setup. We're just going to keep our running back blocked. Next thing we're going to do is motion Debo over. We got slant to post, and then we got a deep post going across the middle. So if I wanted to, I could throw that right there. That safety did not go over at all, so that's obviously something I don't really want to throw. Sometimes those deep posts are good against man. Again, this player, if he had route technician, he would get a better cut against man coverage and ultimately could get separation if he had the speed advantage. But again, the setup, A on a post, RB on a flat. So again, you see out of these setups, we're putting RB on a flat, A on a post. So they're very similar, but with the exception of a couple of routes here, a couple of routes there, and then obviously using some of the stock routes out of PAD cross to your advantage. But again, you're throwing X on a slant, you're just motioning him over and snapping the ball. Again, you see our one difference in route is this deep post. You see Debo getting over. I had McCaffrey open. I also had Kittle open. The next step to this play is going to throw Y on a wheel route, A on a post, RB on a flat, X on a slant. Again, all we're doing differently is just putting that wheel route out, giving ourselves 2 high-low reads. Overall, that's been the main thing to take from this. Just create high-low reads, and overall using our stock routes to our advantage. So I'll show it one more time, and then we can call it a video again. What I would like to do out of this is maybe motion that deep post over. Again, you can't motion this guy in. All you can do is motion him in a step. You can't actually motion him across the formation, because obviously I don't think they would let you have 3 players on one side, 4 players on one side, but would be nice if you could create some creative route combinations, but obviously you can't. One more time, here's a look at our play art. Overall, just a great offensive scheme in my opinion. Just really, really difficult to defend, especially running man. You got all these players motioning over, and then you're running a different play. That motion guy's always in a different route. Very difficult to catch up on. But that's pretty much going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button for me. Hit that sub button if you are new to the channel. And peace. I'm out of here.